Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back. I think we're in part 6 of this beginning tutorials for WordPress in 2020 for somebody who's never worked with WordPress before. Today we're going to talk a little bit about themes and how you can put them in your site and how they make it look different. If you remember from last time where we left off, all we have is this drab, kind of ugly, just blah WordPress site, right? That comes stock default, and chances are really likely that you're going to want to change this. Obviously, in this case, I said we were probably going to build something like a flower shop, so I'm just going to install a free flower shop theme. I'm not going to configure the e-commerce part or anything like that in this particular series, but I'm just going to show you how it changes your site and how it saves you a lot of time from having to build it yourself. So over here in the WordPress dashboard, if you remember, it would be under appearance for your site, and then you'd go into themes. And from the themes, we have 2020 installed by default. If you remember, we deleted everything else, and that's because you just don't want it in there, like I talked about, for security, potential security issues. You just want to delete everything you're not using generally. That's just my own rule, and it's worked out pretty good so far. So there's really two ways you can go about this. You can just go to add new, and that's going to let you add a new theme from this WordPress screen where you can search all their existing themes in their repository and then just add them in right here, which is really cool. And we'll just actually do one from the free right here, and then I'll show you how you would get it if you were to download like a paid theme or something like that. So let's just go with this corporate blogging one. You can preview what it would look like on your current site, and this is what it would look like. And so, I don't know, I don't really like that one too much. It really doesn't matter because we're just going to end up changing it anyway. But let's just install this one here. Let's say that we really like this Stranger WP, and we were just going to install that. So you just hit install, and once it gets installed, it's just going to change the whole site. All right, so that installed, and then after it installs, you actually have to activate it. So you got to click activate. And then once it activates, remember what I said sometimes too, is that it'll give you a new menu item under your appearance. Themes oftentimes add their own menu items, and sometimes they add their own flyout menus and everything. When you install really high-end paid ones, they'll do that. So in the front end, if we go ahead and just refresh our front end, you're going to see that the whole site changes to look more like that theme that we just installed, right? And so this one has like a top slider, and it has a logo here instead of this, and you know, we haven't added any menu items, and we could do that too. So a couple quick things. When we talked about widgets, this is, guess what this is over here? This is a widget area, at least the way this theme is set up, right? So these are editable from your widgets menu under the widgets in your appearance. See this here, recent comments, recent posts, and search. That's over here. And so if we were to simply drag these out and just drop them out, and we were to go back in the front end, that search will be gone. So widget areas are pretty cool for that kind of stuff. And as you can see, this theme, it's got different sidebar ones. It's got a sidebar widget, and then it's got 4 footer widgets. And those are going to be down here at the bottom, and they're in order here. These are the ones that come installed with WordPress, all WordPress. It's not theme dependent. So it's going to give you all of these, like your meta. You definitely want to take these out, right? Because you don't want people going to your site, administrative login, and all that, which in security plugins we can change, and we can talk about that when we get to a future part of the series, which is about security. But that's really, let's see, let's go back to the overview of our themes, because in our themes now we're going to have 2 themes, right? Or actually we're going to have 3. Did I install this one? I don't remember installing this one. I guess maybe it comes as a package with these 2. I don't know. But anyway, so that's how it changes the front end. And if we wanted to configure it to look like this, all we'd have to do is go through the pages and go through all this theme's information and settings to see it's going to have all of its own information and settings. So remember when I said sometimes themes will do some of their stuff through the theme itself, and sometimes it will do it through the WordPress customizer. Remember I talked about that? So this site's having you manage everything through the customizer. It's having you manage the logo, the header, the typography, the footer, all that stuff's being managed through the built-in WordPress customizer. So that's where you'd go through and edit all this stuff, colors and site layout and the header and all that kind of stuff. You do that through the customizer. So if you were going to, and we're not going to go into the specifics of this particular theme because they're all very similar in how they operate. It's just that they make your site look different, and different companies built them, so they'll have different settings and setups. So let's say though that you wanted to buy a theme, or let's say that you purchased a theme and you wanted to install it, and you got it as a package, or that's how you're going to download it. So in that case, I went ahead and went over to the WordPress, and this is like Envato Marketplace, which is a really commonplace. People will buy paid themes, right? They have tons of sales on certain specific themes. Like this one sold 129,000 or 100, I'm sorry, 123,000. So there's a lot of really popular paid themes for your WordPress, and a lot of them are very worth it. It's going to save you a lot of time when you're working on really specific projects, especially because a lot of stuff now is just drag and drop, even in WordPress, which is pretty cool. And it's all built responsive for phones by default. But let's say that you just went to the free WordPress repository for commercial themes. This is just on WordPress's .org theme search. It's essentially the same thing as what you do when you add new, except in this case, let's say that we had downloaded it from a paid spot. So let's take this flower shop example, and let's say that we had received it as a zip package. So let's say we had received this as a zip package. It would come in looking something like this. And if you were to extract it, it's going to give you a internal file like this, which has all the theme files that WordPress needs. But you're not going to unzip it. You're going to leave it as a zip file. And inside your WordPress, back in your WordPress, you would go to, back in the themes, you would go to add new up here at the top, and then you would choose the button changes here to upload a theme, and you would want to upload, and then you'd want to browse out, and you'd find that file, that WordPress, that flower, this would be if you paid for one, and then you would install it, and it would install exactly the same way as just kind of still a one button click installation. You just have to make sure it comes as a zip file and it's properly packaged, which all WordPress theme installers will give it to you, or theme builders will give it to you this way. And then just hit activate, and now that theme is the active theme on our website. So if we go back to the front, we change it again, suddenly it's now more of this flower shop type theme, and it really should look something more like this example here. I'm sure it can be configured to look like this, and like I said, we'll probably end up doing that a little later on. So it looks like it has an about theme area, which just tells us about it. Chances are likely it's just wanting us to upgrade because it has a paid and a free version. A lot of them will do this, and they'll cut out a lot of their built-in options. So as you can see, the front end kind of changed to this flowery looking website. I mean, it doesn't look exactly like their example here, but I'm sure that through simple configuration in the theme, it would look very similar to it. But that's kind of the basics when it comes to themes. There's tons and tons of them out there. There's tons and tons of paid themes. There's tons and tons of free themes. And I mean tons and tons and tons. There's too many, in fact, to choose from. A lot of times it makes sense just to choose a theme that has a versatility and you can build multiple things on it. And that's, like I'm talking about, Divi's really popular. Themify is pretty popular. This one here, Avada, I'm pretty sure they say it Avada. It's a website building theme, and it's really, really popular as well. I've heard tons and tons and tons of good things about this one. It's really similar. It kind of just has lots of different things you can build in it, meaning it's like drag and drop, and you can build essentially anything from e-commerce to local business website to just a blog or whatever you want. So that's really the basics of themes, is just about installing them from your appearance section, adding them in as your themes, and then changing the front end, and then you can change all this information, get rid of your widgets and sidebars if you don't want it, make it full width. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with these. And like I said, half the time they'll split it between a flyout menu inside the appearance itself. So it'll have like out here, you'll throw it out and it'll have like theme options specifically, and then it'll have all the things you can change in there. Or it'll say go to the customizer, in which case that would be in your customize under your appearance. And this is where we can start changing things around. So in our next 10-minute video, what we're going to do is we're going to actually use the customizer, and we're going to kind of change some of this stuff around, and I'll just kind of give you an idea and a quick rundown of how this works. We might go to a different theme. I'm not really too sold on this one specifically. So that's pretty much it for the theme overview. I appreciate the watch. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.